Sometimes people use the terms yin and restorative interchangeably when talking about yoga. However, there is a difference between the two, and it's all in the intention of the pose. In yin yoga, our goal is to stress our connective tissues so that we get some benefit for our fascia, ligaments, and tendons. We might hold for 3 to 5 minutes in that case. In restorative yoga, we use more props to allow the body to completely relax. It's more about calming the nervous system. And you might stay for 5 or more minutes, maybe even up to 10 minutes. Let's take a pose that you might be familiar with and talk about how it would be different in yin versus restorative yoga. Child's pose is a good example. In child's pose, we bring the knees wide to the edges of the mat, big toes to touch. You might bring a blanket underneath your ankles if you have some discomfort in your ankles, and then you bring your torso forward and your arms forward. In a more active vinyasa class, in child's pose, you might press into your hands to activate through your arms. In a yin pose, you relax your arms. You might even bend your elbows or bring your hands wider. Soften your heart towards your mat and your hips towards your heels. Even in a yin practice, you might use some props here, especially if there's too much compression in your knees and you have any knee pain. You might bring a blanket, a folded blanket, behind your knees to create less compression in the knees, or even a block between your hips and your heels for less compression in your knees. And you might still bring your forehead all the way down to your mat. To be able to stay in this pose for longer periods in a restorative practice where we're not trying to stress the tissues, you might use some more props. For example, a bolster underneath your torso and your forehead can help you relax even more through your upper body, and maybe even bring your hips a little away from your heels with something more between your hips and your heels to give you more support. You could also use blocks underneath your bolster to give it more height and make it even more relaxing to stay in the pose for longer periods. You might start with your head turned in one direction, and halfway through, turn your head in the opposite direction to get an equal stretch for your neck. I hope that helps bring some more clarity between the difference between yin yoga and restorative yoga. Keep following us for more yoga videos.